Hi Steven, this is Alex. This is the check write of your new cyclic. So I want to show a few hardware features. Like force stream system and the sensitivity switching. So I also want to check if the cyclic is assembled properly and works well. So we will make a short flight around the airport. Let's start. So first thing I want to talk about is the sensitivity switch option, which I really like to use for the Triumph 407 NX plane we're sitting in. So what I want to do is to increase precision a bit and reduce sensitivity. For this I push cyclic a bit forward and press the thumbstick button, one click, and you can see my cyclic just jumped a bit backward. That's because it switched to 80% sensitivity mode. What this means is that the whole sensor range, whole physical sensor range is mapped to the reduced axis range, to the 80% of axis range. This gives an increased precision around center, but limits the outer boundaries of axis. So this is most suitable for lighter helicopters like the 407 or for example R22 or stuff like that. So another quite important feature I want to talk about is the force stream feature. Because of this cyclic being equipped with quite strong springs, to be able to center various stick grips, various stick lengths, and whatever you can install in it, it has some mechanics to make flying more realistic, because in a real helicopter you won't actually fight with spring tension. You just set the trim as you like, and then you don't feel spring tension around this around the trim position. So I have done something similar in SimShare firmware. So to use this mode, you just move the stick where you want it to be, and the pedals as well. So in this case, before starting the engine, we want our cyclic centering light, you can see it, we want it to come off, to go off. So I move cyclic to the center position and press the top red button on the stick grip. Then I release my cyclic and pedals. So you can see that the cyclic centering light is now off, and we can start the engine. We will skip warming up for a minute. Okay, so we are ready for takeoff. So I think we'll be flying to the Columbia River and back. Let's do something we would have never done in real life. So everything looks quite good so far. Okay, let's go look what's happening down there. Yeah, I guess this is big enough space for us to land. Okay. So, yeah, I guess everything is fine with the stick. It works really well. I like it. Now let's go to the back to the airport, and I will try to show how fourth stream works once again, because this is really important feature for cruise flight. So up till now we have been testing the more precision, more precise flight. Now we'll be testing the cruise flight and the dream system in action. So let's take off. So I have set the desired helicopter altitude for, you know, the cruise flight, and let's say I want to preserve it and make flying more comfortable by removing spring tension from the stick. So now when I'm flying straight and level, the bow is centered, stuff like that, I press the fourth trim button and gently release my cyclic and pedals. Now you can see that quite seamlessly my physical stick is centered, but my virtual stick stays where it has been before. So all my movements with my stick are now happening relative to the trimmed position. So just like in the real helicopter, this works for both cyclic and pedals, so this is cool. So you can retrim every time you want. At any given moment. So let's say I want to fly along that road. So I have leveled the helicopter and I have centered the bow. So I press my trim button and now my hand rests in the most comfortable position, and I can do more precise movements with my hand because because the spring tension is minimal. What's important is when flying in windy conditions, do not forget to retrim pedals to their center before landing, because otherwise you may run out of pedal range, which isn't really great. So prior to landing, retrim pedals to their center. you can see how seamless the process is. I have just retrimmed heli and it didn't cause any, noticeable change in attitude of the heli. Now, in case if you want just a slight adjustment to your cyclic position and your pedals are fine, or for some reason you don't want to retrim the helicopter, you may move your trimmed position with the head switch. So what it does, it moves cyclic by really minuscule amounts. So you can make tiny adjustments for cyclic position when you need it. So that's pretty much it. So before we shut off the engine, we need to retrim our cyclic and pedals to the center. So I press the button again, and now everything is more or less centered. Now I can safely shut down the engine. Without fearing that the excessive pitch will cause some overheating somewhere. So another feature of the stick grip I haven't talked about yet is the dual action trigger. which works just like it does in a real helicopter. Its half press toggles intercom, and its full press is for external radios. So what this means is it presses two different joystick buttons, and when the full press joystick button is pressed, the half press button is suppressed to avoid causing conflicts of any kind. So this feature is quite useful in Arma 3, for example, where you can talk to your passengers through intercom, and you can talk on the on another channel, or even on TeamSpeak, using the full press button. For software that doesn't support joystick button assignment, like TeamSpeak, the stick can send keyboard presses. It's all configurable, and you can configure it in configuration.eno file. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and thanks for watching. See you. Bye.